Hello, 209. Today we have a guest who is going to be playing a very important role in our community, especially in Stockton and Lathrop. His name is Chang. He is the CEO of Ava Community Energy. And today we have him in the studio because we're going to be asking him questions about this new energy company that is coming to the 209. And here's your opportunity to get more educated and find out what it's about. So, Howard, if you could introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Howard Chang. I'm the CEO of Ava Community Energy.
So tell me more about this company. What should our audience know, and why is it important for residents that you'll be servicing in Stockton and Lathrop?
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for having me here today, Motec. I'm really excited to speak with you and your viewers with 209 Times. Ava Community Energy is a CCA, a community choice aggregator. And what that means is that we're a nonprofit public agency and soon to be the new municipal power provider for the residents and businesses in Stockton and Lathrop. It's somewhat of a unique entity. We really focus on providing the energy generation services. All of our customers ultimately are still customers of PG&E. PG&E will continue to provide the services related to lines, wires, transmission, distribution, metering, things of that nature. So we're on a portion of the bill providing electricity generation, and we're slated to start serving customers in April of this year.
Why Stockton and Lathrop specifically?
Well, Stockton and Lathrop, their city councils did diligence on our entity going a number of years back, and at the time they were looking for alternatives to PG&E service. Currently, there are 25 CCAs, community choice aggregators, that provide power throughout the state of California. And they saw the success of that, the savings that were provided, the cleaner power, the programs, the energy-related programs and services that CCAs have been able to provide. Ava Community Energy specifically, we launched in 2018, starting in Alameda County, serving all of those residents and businesses there. We expanded the city of Tracy in 2021, so that was our first time that we expanded to San Joaquin County. And we couldn't be more excited about extending into Stockton and Lathrop this year, starting in April. And we already have unincorporated San Joaquin County as a member as well. So we'll start to serve those areas starting in 2026.
Nice. So I know when we published an article about this, a lot of people, number one, are happy, but then there's also a lot of people who are unfamiliar with your company who are wondering, is this legitimate? Is this like, salesmen that go door to door to sell gas energy? How is your company different?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've come to hear about some companies that are out there maybe taking advantage of some customers, talking about opportunities to lower their gas bills, and then ultimately raising those prices. It's unfortunate that's happening, but obviously we're all aware there are some scams out there to be really cautious with. Let me just start by saying it's really hard to engage with our communities and customers about their electricity bills. It's not a particularly sexy or interesting area, right? People don't want to dig into their bills. So we want to spend as much time as we can really educating our new customers and communities about who Ava Community Energy is and why we're coming into their communities and becoming their new power provider. We are very different from some of those scams that you referenced there. We're a nonprofit, we're a public agency. The cities of Stockton and Lathrop ultimately voted to join as a member to our agency after years and years of diligence. We ourselves did a feasibility study as well to ensure that we could actually provide power reliably and affordably to customers throughout the area. And ultimately, the Public Utilities Commission also approved it. So it's a really formalized process, something that's allowed by state law for cities to decide to join or form a CCA so that they could have some choice to provide an alternative power provider relative to PG&E. We don't sign people up to contracts.
That was going to be my next question.
And so what we want to do is provide our customers choice. And when we enrolled customers, they ultimately have that option to actually opt out of our service or return to PG&E service. Fortunately, we've seen very few customers do that. And the reason is because we provide savings. Our default energy product, which is called Bright Choice, is at a 5% discount relative to PG&E's generation service. And that's something that we take really seriously. And we've been able to increase that discount over time, starting at 1%, going to 3%, and ultimately currently it's at 5%. So we're continuing to be focused on ways to bring down energy costs for our customers.
So let's get to the meat and potatoes of it. How are you able to save customers money on energy costs? Aren't you just reselling PG&E energy?
So the answer to you there is no, we're not reselling PG&E power. We're out there building our own portfolio of resources and contracting generation plants throughout California and even beyond that. So that's how we go and hedge the risk in the power costs, and ultimately we're the wholesale power provider that's making those decisions on behalf of our customers. That's really critical. We're not a middleman that's charging a margin and just reselling PG&E's power. We're out there procuring and creating our own power resources. The other thing is that we're a tax-exempt entity. Because we're a nonprofit, because we're a public agency, we actually have lower financing costs. As a result of that, we're able to lower our costs that directly get passed on to our customers.
Now, you mentioned that your company is governed by a board of directors, correct? And I'm told that there's some elected officials who are members of those board of directors. What would you say for those who may wonder if that's a conflict of interest?
Yeah, so the way our entity is set up is as a joint powers authority. It's very similar to your municipal water provider, your transit authorities. Oftentimes when a city or a collection of cities and the county itself want to work together to provide a public service, they'll come together and actually create a joint powers authority. And with that, a joint powers agreement, which really lays out all the details for how they work with one another. So our 18 members created a joint powers agreement, and additional cities have signed on to that agreement, and ultimately that's how we're governed. So our 18 members means we have 18 board of directors as well, and every single city or the county itself get to appoint a city council member. That can be a mayor, a vice mayor, or a city council member that actually sits on our board and governs how we set our rates, how we operate ultimately.
So it sounds like more of an oversight role they play. Now with cost of energy going through the roof, even down to, I saw today, average price of eggs in California is almost $10. I think it's $9.78 right now. What is your company, how is it going to be dealing with current customers of PG&E that are transitioning over to Ava, who are having trouble struggling with paying their current PG&E bills?
Absolutely. People are struggling right now to pay their bills across the board. It's not just electricity bills, of course. People, businesses, small businesses in particular. So we're really focused on ways that we can address some of the affordability issues that people throughout California are facing. The first thing is, as I mentioned before, Bright Choice is at a 5% discount relative to PG&E for the generation services. We're going to continue to try to focus on that, commit to that, and hopefully we can continue to increase that over time. So that's a big thing that we continually do. The other thing is that annually, because we're a nonprofit, we look at the budget surplus that we get. If we're able to buy energy for a lower cost, we pass those savings on to the customers. So we actually provide an annual on-bill credit to them. Just last month, we provided a $100 bill credit to all of our care and fair customers. And we also provided smaller on-bill credits for non-care and fair residential customers, as well as on-bill credits for some of the commercial customers. So in total, we provided about $22 million on-bill credits just last month. And so between the regular discount that customers receive, as well as an annual on-bill credit where we're trying to pass on any budget surplus that we may have, those are the two primary ways that we try to address the affordability issue. I'll also say that we provide certain programs and services where we offer incentives and grants to individual residential customers as well as commercial entities to try to alleviate some of the pain for installing some of the various energy efficiency or home electrification products and services that they may be seeking. The last thing I'll say is customers that are on CARE or FARA that already receive a discount that is funded by the state budget, those are discounts that they will continue to receive. So when customers become an Ava Community Energy customer, they will maintain their care and fair status and continue to receive that discount without any disruptions.
Now, it's my understanding that everybody who is a resident of Stockton and Lathrop will be automatically enrolled. It's not something extra that they have to do. Is there an option for customers who may want to opt out, who are still skeptical and for whatever reason want to opt out? Is there a fee for that?
Yeah, so yes, customers do have the option to opt out. The process is intended to be as least disruptive as possible. So starting throughout the month of April, when customers' typical billing cycle ends, they'll be automatically enrolled to Ava Community Energy service. With that said, customers have an option to opt out and return to PG&E service. We see that very few customers elect to do that because we are providing power at a lower cost. it is greener power, and we're also providing programs and services along with that. So we've been able to retain 95+% of our customers, and that's really important to us. But of course, if they want to opt out, they have that option, and that's always there because it's important that they have that level of choice. Interestingly, before CCA, before Ava Community Energy serves these customers in Stockton and Lathrop, there really was no choice. Customers were served by PG&E, and that was the only option they have. So we're really proud to be able to provide an additional option to our customers. To answer your last point, there's typically a $5 administrative fee for customers that decide to opt out of PG&E service, and that's just to support some of the operational back-end billing things that we have to do. However, when we enroll new customers with a new city, the first year that $5 fee is waived. My understanding is early on there may have been some errors in the web forms that went out there, and some customers may have been notified that they had a $5 charge, but we have communicated to all those customers that was an error and that was a mistake that we made, unfortunately.
Okay, so in researching your company, I see that you pride yourself on being engaged in the communities that you've serviced in the Bay Area. How do you plan on being engaged and replicating that here in Stockton and Lathrop?
Yeah, well, the first is to try to educate our customers about who we are. We know it's not easy to come in and say, hey, we're suddenly your new power provider, and expect people to just know what we do. We've got to be out there really educating and informing everyone about who we are. So you're going to see us out there at your farmers markets and festivals. We're sponsoring events like the Asparagus Fest, Cinco de Mayo, Lathrop's birthday celebration, and certainly other events as well. We're also starting to sponsor your local sports teams, the Stockton Ports, Stockton Cargo. So we want to be there supporting the local organizations and the events that happen throughout Stockton and Lathrop. So that's one. You'll also see us probably on more advertising, billboards, media, just to make sure that people start to see who Ava Community Energy is and what we're offering. We also do smaller community sponsorships. So 3 times a year, we go out to all of our member cities and offer community sponsorships in smaller dollar amounts, $2,500. That's going to school clubs, academic programs, your little league teams, things like that. And we really encourage and invite community organizations to apply for those smaller sponsorships to make sure that we're supporting these smaller organizations to be successful. And the last thing, of course, is we're trying to offer different programs and services, things related to an e-bike incentive program. We're also trying to offer assistance to care and fair customers to get induction cooktops installed at their homes to improve indoor air quality. So we're going to continue to evaluate different types of programs and things that are of interest to our customers to find ways to both educate them on the benefits of electrification and also, of course, provide them incentives and things that can actually lower the cost of some of those services.
Thank you for being with us today, and that's all the questions that I have so far. So I'm sure if we come up with any other questions, I can reach out to you. But I think it's been very informational today, so I appreciate you taking your time to do that for our audience. Is there anything else that you would like to, any message you would like to give to the residents of Stockton and Lathrop who will be receiving the service of your company coming up here in April?
Absolutely. To the communities of Stockton and Lathrop, Ava Community Energy couldn't be more excited to start serving your power starting in April and beyond that. We know that customers are struggling with their energy bills, and we want to find ways to lower your costs and serve your needs. So thank you so much for listening to me. We're here to educate you on your energy needs. We appreciate your time, Motec, and we appreciate your time 209 Times.
All right, everybody. If you live in Stockton and Lathrop, check your bills. It's supposed to begin starting in April. So hopefully we all start saving some money because Lord knows if you're living in California, you need it. So if you want more information, look up their website. What is that?
AvaEnergy.org.
AvaEnergy.org. So if you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to the company directly. Thank you.
Bye-bye.